book lovelies, it's Mills, Read of Mills. Welcome back to my channel. And this week we are going to be going through some of my books that I read in July. I was about to say August, but we are in August now. Some of the books I read in July. It's not going to be everything I read, but it's kind of some of my honourable mentions, or maybe some ones I didn't really enjoy, which is always a shame, but I think it's worth doing both sides of the scales and letting you guys know what filled my month of July. I was on holiday in July as well, so it wasn't a usual holiday for me. It was more of a city break, so I didn't get as much reading done, which is a shame. But let's dive into some of my best and worst of the month. I feel like that's awful to say, but it's true. It's true. It's true. There are things going in places that shouldn't go in places. Okay, so the first series of 3 books that I read in July was the Dance with a Demon series. It is so good by Steph Macker. If you like mental health tropes, dark romance, why choose, spicy scenes that are so unhinged, this is definitely for you. I love this. I adored this. I couldn't stop thinking about this. It's probably one of the series that's going to live with me for a while, especially because of the way book 3 ends. Like, I'm feral for book 4 to come out. So in this, you meet a girl called Avery. She has been sent to the Lilydale Centre, which is like a psychiatric centre, because she's unalived her father in a fire. And when she gets there, she meets 3 guys. One's a puppy dog, one's broody, and one's very affluent and a bit snobby, I would kind of describe him as. And she ends up in a spicy why choose situation with them. There are things going in places that shouldn't go in places. There are spicy scenes involving, I don't know if blood play, I'm allowed to say that, but I feel like blood play is the only way to describe it. It's intense, it's dark, it's twisted. But wow, it will have you crying as well, I have to say. This was one of the books I probably cried the most at in the month of July. I found it very emotional, and the way that book 3 ended, you're very attached to the characters at that point. The fact there wasn't book 4, I went to go and purchase book 4 and went, sorry, there's only 3, where is book 4? So yeah, I'm a little bit unhinged myself at the moment, waiting for book 4. But honestly, yeah, if you like authors like J. Rose and Kaya Moronova, I think you're going to really like this. It just seems even darker. I just couldn't connect with this. Then we have my most disappointing read of the month, and it's disappointing for 2 reasons. Firstly, I just did not connect with the book at all. And secondly, I was stuck on an aeroplane. I'd packed all my other books in my suitcase thinking this is going to fill the whole flight. The flight was only, 2.5 hours? And I'm stuck reading Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I just couldn't connect with this. So in this, you have a guy who's a vet and a girl who turns up at his practice, and her cat doesn't have a poo hole. I know, it sounds weird. It's not able to go to the toilet. And he's like, oh, you just need to put the cat down. It's never going to survive. And she's like, nope, I'm going to raise money and get the surgery needed because it's very expensive surgery. So she does that, she manages that, and then they don't see each other because obviously he's not her vet. Fast forward a bit and they kind of reconnect. I think she takes the cat for a checkup. Yeah, she does, because she's about to fly back to her mother's house. So she takes the cat for a checkup to have a certificate to fly, and he apologizes to her. The thing I just couldn't connect to this book is they have a lot of trauma outside of their relationship. So he is running a vet practice. He has to keep it off the ground with all the money he's invested in it. He's had these abusive parents. She's got a mother who has dementia, and she's going to help her family. Honestly, the way she goes on about, oh, I've got to go back and look after my mum. I have a feeling she is the middle child. Yes, she is. It's giving middle child vibes. Woe is you. You've got to go look after your mum. Your sister's been looking after her the whole time. I just thought, cry me a river. But they are so in love with each other. They've gone on one date. They went on a escape room. They got stuck together in an escape room, and they're in love. But even though they've got all this outside trauma and they've got to travel to see each other because it's really long distance across America, I felt like their actual relationship didn't have too many bumps in the road, and I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe their love for each other. It was a really easy read. I think it's the kind of book you want to read in summer. It's actually made me think I might not pick up another Abby Jimenez book because it's just not my style of writing. I like a little bit more angst, a little bit more drama, a little bit more something. I don't think I'm a fluffy romance reader. Or a little bit more spice. It just was lacking in something for me. I can't pinpoint my finger on it, but I just didn't believe that these characters went through enough, in my opinion. But that is my opinion. What would you do if you were in that situation? Okay, then we have another really, really, really good read. This is Pen Pal by J.T. Geisinger. excuse me, JT Geisinger, what are you doing writing this book so well? Like, I was hooked. You meet the main character in this. Her husband has been in a tragedy and passed away. She's burying him in a grave, and she starts to receive this letter from a man in prison who says he knows her. He says he knows all these things about her, and like he's in love with her. He's instantly connected to her. What would you do if you were in that situation? Like, I was generally thinking, if someone was messaging me, telling me all these things, I'd be stressed. I'd be like, who's this person? How do they know me? Stalker vibes. She also lives in this really rundown house, and nobody's turning up. She keeps ringing people and saying, like, can you come help me? And nobody's reaching out to her to help her with this house. The electricity's doing weird things. Doorbell keeps ringing when it shouldn't. Like, there is a lot going on in this book, but the one thing that isn't missing is the spice. The spicy scenes are great. They're not too intense compared to maybe like the Queens and Monsters series by JT Geisinger. That had a lot more spice in. This one's definitely like a lighter spice, but the plot twist, my jaw hit the floor. It made me cry as well. I was so emotional reading this. I went into thinking, oh yeah, a little bit of a bad boy prison man. And I ended up in tears. Why does that not surprise me that I love a book that made me cry? I think I've got an emotional issue. I just always need to cry with books. I'm really bad like that, but I just do. So yeah, if you want something that's going to make you absolutely go, sorry, what? How did that plot twist come? Then Pen Pal by JT Geisinger is 100% for you. I have not stopped raving about this since. You've probably seen me talking about this a lot, but yeah, it's so good. Woo, spicy men. Now I'm going to have to hold up the wrong book because I've actually lent this out to somebody without filming my wrap up first, which is just so typical of me. One of my friends was around the other day and they said that they loved Sadie Kincaid, and I was like, well, have you read the New York Ruthless series? They said they'd read the LA series, they hadn't read the New York one, so I lent them the 4 books. And now I'm like, I don't have any of those books to hold up. But the cover gives similar vibes, and as long as you can see it's Sadie Kincaid, we're just going to have to put up with it. But yeah, I read the Ryan series. Well, I'm calling it the Ryan series, even though it's called New York Ruthless, because the 4 Ryan men in it, woo, spicy men, in July. And wow, that series gave me a new take on mafia that I've never read before. So you have a Russian mafia princess. Her parents were unalived by this man who then took her captive, and she got away, and she's kind of been living as like this computer hacker, hacking into people's computers and surviving. Then this Irish mafia family turns up, unalives the people she's living with, and takes her captive because she's kind of like, please take me captive, I can be good for you. Like, she's not actually taken captive because they wanted her. She was just a nice byproduct of them unaliving these Russian mafia men. So she's taken captive by the Ryan brothers. There's 4 of them. They're Irish. You've got the eldest one, you've got twins, and then you've got a single brother as well. One of the brothers, who's the single one, not the eldest, has had a little bit of trauma in his life, so I do like that as well, because he's a little bit of he's got a little bit of a heart compared to the others. And yeah, she just starts sleeping with all of them at different points at times, sometimes together. Very spicy scenes. It's probably the first mafia book I think I've read where they actually share a woman, and I'm totally here for that. Like, I don't think all mafia men could, but because they're brothers and they have a really close bond, and I guess because they've trauma bonded, it's probably the only way to describe it. But like Alejandro in this book, he ain't doing no sharing. Like, there is no way he's sharing his wife with anybody. But with them, I love that they have such a good, this is really messed up, isn't it? But they have such a good brotherly bond. They don't get jealous of each other, all being with the same girl. And they kind of take turns to satisfy their needs, and sometimes they share, which I love. So yeah, very spicy, very fun. Definitely a great one if you've not picked up Sadie Kincaid. I would recommend though reading the LA Ruthless series first, because when you start the New York Ruthless series, it tells you the outcome of at least book 1 in this, and a little bit more of the trauma that starts in this book. But I read this one, did I read this in December last year? I think it was December last year. So yeah, definitely recommend the Ryan brothers. There you have it. That is a summarized July reading wrap up. I wanted to do some of my best and then sadly one of my worst reads for the month. I had so much fun reading this month, but it was a little bit of a quieter one for me. August is definitely going to be a busy one. I've got events and I've got a lot to get through, but I'm so excited. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on for notifications for when I post in the future. See you soon.